Big up, people. Big up. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. You are T. You are we. Big up the people, them, mate. Big up the people, them. I just been to Old Trafford, saw the best performance of the season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care if it was against the Donald Duck. I don't care if it was against the top team. I saw the best performance of the season. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't biting my nails. My nails are all intact. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just enjoying the game. So yeah, the best performance by far. It's that send off to Ruud. We got other bigger talking points. Apparently, Garnacho, cry little baby, is fucking upset by Vass's coaching. But it worked because he put a banger in the top bins, so it worked. But big up Lawani.
Big up my friends, big up my brothers.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
It's cold out there in New York. Is it cold? It's freezing out there.
Yeah, it's coming. We can feel it coming. The cold is almost here now.
Yeah. Big up, Sean. How you doing? How's California? Yay.
Yeah,
enjoy that?
Big up, guys. Yeah, big up. Good game. You know, I hope this time. I was wondering whether we would disagree, right? Or how we would find a way to make this game seem like a bad thing. I see we're going with the Garnacho angle, but yeah, it was a good game. I'm proud of Garnacho today for scoring. I'm proud of him for showing up and being counted. I think he should continue to embarrass, the so-called fans in our fan base. Basically, I think it's fun. I think it's good to harass and try and intimidate these young players, basically, who are just doing their best. But good game, yes, good game.
Proud of him for what, Sam? He signed up for the job. Didn't he read the job description? And the last time I checked, nobody abused him.
No, yeah, we're not going to agree. I just fundamentally don't agree with this posture that many fans have taken these days, that we're entitled essentially to say whatever we want and talk anyhow, basically, to these players, right? They are here for our entertainment and solely for our pleasure. No, I think Faz was completely out of order and he was disrespectful, right? I think Garnacho had the right response. I think you can tell by the general consensus reaction that most of the fans are on Garnacho's side. I'm proud of Garnacho for being a young player who is willing to stand up and be counted and to put on the United shirt, and for scoring a good goal today. I'm proud of him. I'm encouraged. He's one of the brighter sparks in our team. This is how we should be using him, though. He should be coming on in the 60th or 70th minute when the opposition defender is tired and has been running basically for most of the game. So yeah, it was a good game all around today. But most especially for Garnacho, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it's true what you said, but we're not trying to raise poor kids, If you have a bad game, you are allowed to be called out as a fan. We're not here to pitch our fans against players and vice versa. But if you have a bad game, and in that game, clearly it was all about yourself, of course, the fans have the right to call you out. It's up to you as a professional to block that out, look at your mistake, and then take a good look at yourself, revise, and then come back and do better. That's just, it comes with the territory. It comes with the job description.
No, but I think it's a bit of a straw man, right? No, nobody's saying that fans can criticize players. Fans are more than welcome to do it. I'm sure from the stands, fans scream all sorts of things to the players. I think that's fine. I think when you're watching TV also, you're allowed to criticize, you're allowed to do whatever. But I think some level of emotional intelligence should be operating when you're standing in front of the stadium before a game and you see a player who you ostensibly want to succeed. I think some level of emotional intelligence and reading the situation, right, and picking your moments, picking your time. I think wisdom basically should have applied there, but I don't want us to get sidetracked into that specific conversation. I think there's just so many good things to talk about that we saw today. I'm really excited about Ugarte. I really like that midfield combo, Ugarte and Casemiro. Really impressed going there. I like what I'm seeing for Bruno. Happy to see Bruno, scoring again. Looking forward to more of that. Delete and Mazurawi just continuing in their efficiency, right? Solid players going under the radar. Onana, another clean sheet also. I think he has the most clean sheets basically this season in the Premier League. So, love to see that. So yeah, lots of positives to take from this game. I don't want us to get sidetracked about Garnacho.
Yeah, big up. Listen, at the end of the day, what it is, Mr. E, are you talking to me? I don't know if he's talking to us, Mr. E. I don't know, but if you keep an eye checked and Khalifa Medina, just keep an eye on my guy here. I don't know who he's talking to. Big up everybody. Big up Bumbaye. Bumbaye was there today. Big up Muani. Yeah, the best game of the season. And look, Ruud has already won same amount of games as Erik ten Hag has won all season. That tells you everything. He's got the highest win percentage ever. So big up Ruud for navigating the ship. But he might have to do a little bit more because obviously we're hearing the news tonight. Amorim hasn't got. He's supposed to start tomorrow, but he hasn't got a work visa, and it might be maybe till the end of the week. So we'll have to see.
Calm game of football. Calm game of football.
We'll have to see. But big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video, innit? Subscribe to the channel. Let's get this super chat here. Mufc, I've been shouting Mufc all game today. He didn't even bloody hear it. Fans are part of the blame for Garnacho poor performance. They sing FIFA Garnacho, but he ain't no number 7. Can't lie. Can't lie.
Exactly.
CR7 lazy. He ain't that player. Yeah. Listen, he's definitely.
Look, I'm not into knocking players, but wanting to succeed and succeeding at the expense of your teammate is a different question completely, right? Football is played by 11 players, and you have to be selfless. You have to be selfless about you when you're on the pitch. I'm fine if you keep trying, but if it's at the detriment of your teammate or your team in general, it's something that I'm not going to sit down here and accept. So you should accept the criticism. We're moving on to the game. The word I'm trying to use today is refreshing. For once, it's refreshing to have a game that we played and we're not getting cut through with each and every single pass. We have some kind of solid defensive structure. Thankfully to the double pivot of Casemiro and Ugarte. So shout out to those two. And they were cleaning up pretty much everything in front of the defense. And that's about it. It looked like it was not a game in which we really created a lot. We scored 3 goals, but we still have issue at the front because Rashford, I'm sorry, as much as I really admire his attributes, he have all the attributes to be a good winger. He have pace, he can strike the ball very well. He have some trickeries, but just his decision making is awful. And sometimes it's just I'm just glad that Ruud van Nistelrooy is having him and Garnacho share the duty, the left wing, because Ahmad needed to play. And again today, Ahmad showed the reason why he's such a different profile of winger and he's such a better footballer overall. Because he does the simple things very well, and he does not complicate the game of football at all. So shout out to him as well. Shout out to Mazarawi, who I had my doubts when he came in, but again today, defensively solid and didn't put a single foot wrong. What a buy, he's a Cadillac of a left winger, of a fullback. I have to give him that. He's really, really, really good.
They're calling him the new Dennis Irwin, Every week, 7-8.
Diallo
today has a torrid game,
Awful.
My guy's tired, to be fair. He's tired. He's played too much football, man. Let's be real.
Fatah was giving him all kind of trouble over there. So rightfully, he got hooked. So sometimes when the coach just take you off, you just hold your hands up and you say, hey, you know what? It was not my day today. But overall, this team proved to us that even in autopilot, he's still top 4 because of the quality that he have in it. All Ruud van Nistelrooy have to do is a little change of personnel and put those two in the double pivot, and then put in Ahmad instead of Rashford playing our position. And that's credit to him. Good send up for him. So,
for me, the most impressive bit of management I saw was that Diallo substitution, Diallo for Johnny Evans, and moving Martinez to left back, because Diallo had a mistake in him. Like if you had kept him on that pitch, we would have conceded because somebody would have come around from behind him. One of those is usual mistakes. So yeah, big up to Ruud. West Ham are going to be looking for a manager soon.
Yeah, big up. Bumbaye, you were there.
Yes.
What did you think about it? We were there obviously together, but obviously, what did you think of it?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. We just had a
Good
wicked
evening.
day today. Today dawned on me, you know what? Don't get embarrassed there, but people are asking him for pictures and stuff like that. So it really brings it home that without the people that tune into this, it doesn't really mean anything. So respect to absolutely everybody that tunes in and everybody here tonight in the comments. First and foremost, shout out to the Palestinians and the Lebanese resistance. But we had a top day. 3 players today deserve special mention, and that's Mazraoui. Exactly what Lawani just said, man. How did we snag him for 12 million? Every week, man, he sets the pace, sets the tone. Diallo was struggling against Fatawi. Not once did he get joy against Mazraoui in the second half. Not one time. But he was causing a lot of problems for Diallo. I thought he was tremendous today. Brilliant. Ugarte today, finally, the penny drops for me. I saw and understood what we've bought here. At the beginning of the game, I thought I'm just going to focus on him. I'm not watching the game completely. I want to watch him. Do you remember when Amrabat had that game against City in the final? And he seemed like popping up everywhere that he needed to be to close the door and put the fire out. Ugarte was that today. He puts fires out. His positional sense is very, very impressive. Simple. And simple is good. Simple is effective. So bright future. Very, very impressed with him today. And my man of the match, Amad Diallo. I don't understand how a manager has a player like that every Man United fan has been seeing for a long time. And even saying when he's played, he deserves to start. He should be playing. You've got guys out there that are stinking the place out for so long. Why are you not playing this kid? That guy today, every time he gets the ball, he's the type of player that everyone in the stadium was like excited. Everybody was a little bit excited in the stadium when he gets it. Ran at his people constantly, and his defensive work today was very good as well. Very, very good. I thought he was superb. So he got my man of the match, but it could have been any of the 3.
Yeah.
Everybody played. We played as a team today, man. We didn't give them a sniff. And I just want to finish by saying, you're looking at Ruud managing this team, and you look at the team sheet, and you think, you know what? That's a good team. That's the kind of team I'd pick. Why have you not been picking that team? It's been there. And then the substitutions, every single one of them, not genius stuff. Diallo struggling, take him off. Bring on Johnny Evans. Put Mazraoui there. Let's see if he can put an end to that. It worked. Rashford's having a stinker. Let's get him off. Bring Garnacho on. Normal, just standard shit. Casemiro played well today as well. I must say, him and Ugarte were very good. He's played a lot. Let's rest him. Bring Eriksen on. Give him a few. It all just makes simple sense. Eric, I don't know. Towards the end, I was thinking, man, this shit is only making sense to you. So, a very good day at the office today, I must say. An enjoyable game, You never felt afraid. You never felt it's going to fall apart. And we need to just build off of this. And the only thing I'd say, United sometimes sort of lull themselves to sleep a little bit. They start to just do the what do you call it, like muscle memory shit. The focus might just drop off a second, and I just see that in games. That's how opposition gets back into it. We lull ourselves to sleep a little bit. So whoever comes in, I just feel this team. I was chatting today to the fans around us. It does need somebody that is going to keep everybody on their toes. This team. And it does need the team just to be hungry, man. Like, proper. Like sitting out, our City just falling off a little bit, 4 in a row. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be that hunger there, that desire there, constant.
Title
You know,
charge is on, but
that stockade mentality, man. So I hope these are the ingredients that Amorim can bring into the characteristic and personality of this team. and I hope we start to get a few players that can really put the fire back into United. Leicester today, not a sniff, but there will be harder tests ahead of us. But it's good. International break 2 weeks. Amorim, come in, use it, take stock, work with the players a little bit. And we've not got a very difficult run coming up. I think Everton, winnable game. And then we've got Arsenal's the third game, but we've got
See, we
two
win one
decent
convincing
ones.
game, and
Yeah.
Bombay thinks 21 is coming. We're gonna win the league.
No. I'm just assessing it, bro. Listen, we've been
the game's
starved.
easy from now on. It's easy, yeah.
We've been starved, man. I've
go on a
got.
run of form.
yourself.
I'm going over because we've been
It was
starved.
bloody Leicester, man.
Who
We've
might
been
have
in the
believed
desert, and
it's
today we found
overexcited.
an oasis.
And no
bro.
Vardy today.
It's
The
4
way
points
Leicester
between.
played, there was
It's
no
4 points
Vardy, no
between
party.
third.
I was saying that we're chatting. I had an 87-year-old guy, season ticket holder for about 60 years. This guy, and we're saying, how about we just keep Ruud, man? But it was a great send off for Ruud, I must say. Really, really nice, really nice.
Yeah, but don't let them shame you. It's 4 points between third place and 13th. If Amorim knows what is good about his job or is
Yeah.
good about his business, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't go on from now, basically, and make something out of this season.
Yeah,
It's
man. Hopefully,
there's
let's be
points on the table.
optimistic. Yeah.
It's a tough league. There's points on the table. Everybody between, like I said, between third and 13th place. It's only 4 points between Nottingham Forest and us. There's absolutely no reason why our season should be written off right now.
I mean, you look at the guys around us today. Tottenham, put that in your pipe and smoke it. City 4 on the bounce. It's all happening. Only Liverpool are steady at the minute. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lesso. Talk to me. What did you think about the game today? Ruud?
The game today was actually it wasn't that bad, actually, to be honest. It was well managed. I think it's one of those games I would say that we used to see under Alex. It's well controlled. Leicester really didn't have a sniff. It didn't look like pretty much we were troubled in any way or sort.
Do you think I'm getting giddy when I say it was the best performance of the season?
No, I think it's a professional performance. It's what we want to see. Like I think it's professional. It's the type you want to see. Like it's I'd say I've seen this a lot under even Sir Alex, where we actually like just made sure that we controlled the pace of the game. We took the sting out of whenever Leicester tried to, have a resurgence, we took the sting out of it very quickly. And we pretty much change gears during the game. We managed ourselves properly. We made the right substitutions. As well, and yeah, like I saw, it was overall, it was like a 10 out of 10, to be honest, in terms of the way we managed the game throughout.
Wow,
I've hardly seen the team do this, but you see, with me, I'm gonna be fair, and I'll always point out wherever I see something that's positive, I'll point it out. And I love seeing this because for me, this is sustainable. It means that we can have games like these and going forward we can get results like this, because you can't all the time be out and out attacking, 24/7 attacking and whatnot. I want to see the team control the pace of the game. I want to see them take the sting out of the opposition whenever they gain any sort of momentum. You've seen a lot of great teams do this throughout the years, and
I don't mean to interrupt you,
this.
but I want to ask a question about sustainability, right? I think today a key part of why we're able to do what we did today was that we played Ugarte and Casemiro in midfield. Personally, I like that combo. What do you think? Do you think that's a midfield pair that Amorim can work with, or does Kobe Mino get back into the team basically immediately he's fit?
I think we can work with this. Honestly, right now we're trying to, we have to go back to the basics. This is what Ruud van Nistelrooy did. In essence, he's gone back to the basics. He's gone back to the basics. and pretty much, he's managing games now. He's making sure that we do the basics right. He's making sure as well that he makes us solid so that we don't get overrun in midfield. Ogade is a essential part of that. He's got the legs wherever Casemiro is lacking. He's got the legs where Casemiro can push up forward and add in terms of the creativity going forward. So, we managed to get that balance right in having Ugarte in that midfield. And essentially, I think we all spoke about this and saying, why don't we have Casemiro and Ugarte as our midfield pairing, this season? Because I think it brings so much stability. You saw it today. There's so much stability. There's so much reassurance as well. When those two are in the midfield, you look at how they cover for each other as well. Whenever Ugarte is out of position, Casemiro is there. Whenever Casemiro is out of position, Ugarte is there to cover up for him as well. So, that kind of performance going forward, it actually bodes well for us. It's something you can build on towards.
We won.
And
We
yeah,
won today.
I've been fairly impressed.
We won
Yeah.
today, but for me, the performance against Chelsea is really the benchmark. I think that's block of four with De Ligt, Martinez, Ugarte, and Casemiro in front of them. I think that gives us a solid foundation, basically, for and Mazraoui helping here and there for Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, Ahmad to do whatever they want up front. That four, basically, that quartet in the center, I think is very solid, and it's something that Amorim can build on.
Sean, you see
Yeah.
the question you just asked.
I think
The question you just
Yeah.
asked is actually opened the kind of a can of worm to many other questions. It's actually a very good question, because now what I'm asking myself is, why is that double pivot of Ugarte and Casemiro not being played by Erik ten Hag? Is it because of system requirements? He was trying to play one midfielder in the build-up, or is it because Kobe Mino was available and he was under pressure to integrate Kobe Mino being the rising star and the more commercially viable player into the team? That's the question. Was Ten Hag under pressure from the upper level to Kobe Mino? Is that the reason why? Because he wouldn't get a game on the.
I think of it more of like a footballing question, right? I think definitely the players in the team right now are informed. They are feeling better, and when you feel better, you play better, right? So it's really as simple as that. You feel better, so the timing of your passes is better. You understand? Your positioning is better. You're more connected. You're more in sync with your teammates because you guys are all, on the same wavelength. You're all positive, marching in the same direction. I think some of that is definitely affecting the team. But I think some of it was also a footballing question. I think there are games where a midfield combo of Ugarte and Casemiro might look blunt, right? Because you need some more creativity, and that's where somebody like Eriksen would come in, even though Eriksen is much older than he should be. So I think it's an interesting question. I agree, it raises some very interesting questions, because what kind of midfield do we now set up with? What happens in the game where you do need some creativity, right? How do you get that balance with playing Ugarte and somebody else in midfield? Because all the midfielders we have, none of them are positionally disciplined. And if you ask Kobe Mino to stay too deep, they are not getting the best out of him in some other areas. So yeah, that's why I asked the question, because to me it's an interesting question, especially in the context of what Amorim is trying to do with that whole 3-4-3 setup. The two midfielders who play there are going to have to work very, very hard. I don't know if Daddy or Uncle Casemiro has the legs to do it anymore.
Now, if Kobe come back, would he start the game? Would he start now? Would Casemiro go back to the bench? Or is he going to be the bench player now? Or what are we
No,
going to...
I would use Kobe the same way we just used Garnacho today. I think Kobe Mino and Garnacho should be supporting players, right? They should be that's quality on the bench. The Leicester City right back, I'm sure, must have been terrified to see Garnacho coming on after he'd been running for 70 minutes. I think it should be the same thing with Kobe. The way Kobe plays, the type of player that he is, let's save him for games where we feel a little more confident. And honestly, Casemiro, as inconsistent as he is sometimes, he is in fact a 5 times Champions League winner. And sometimes it shows, right? And we don't need him to be Casemiro 5 years ago. But in order to get away with the qualities that he does has, it means that Ugarte has to be on his best behavior. Lisandro Martinez has to be solid in recovery. So does Delete. So does Mazurari, right? If everybody is moving in the right direction, then some of Casemiro's flaws can be managed or hidden, and we can get the best out of him for at least the rest of this year, or the rest of this season.
Yes, Ugarte, and we can say Ugarte have to be on his best behavior. But if you look at Ugarte and his characteristic, right? I know last week I was talking about he's not good enough for the Premier League, but we look at it as a player, the ability to win multiple fouls without conceding a yellow card is an art in itself, and he looked like he excelled at that. And if you look at Casemiro, being you could tell his experience, because today there was a play where he tackled, he put in a tackle, he missed the player, and the player went in to cook Lisandro Martinez, but Casemiro never took his eyes off that play. So when he saw Lisandro getting into trouble, he went back in there and cleaned up the play. And that's the kind of attitude, the kind of focus, the kind of concentration that you
That's
can.
the experience I'm talking about.
The experience,
that's
exactly.
the experience,
We cannot necessarily associate it with Kobe Mino, maybe because playing in a double pivot is not his nature. Maybe he need to play further forward. Now that brings it another question. If we want to push him further forward, what do we do with Bruno? Because I believe that genuinely we have a Bruno we might be having in the future when the games come to fine margin, we might start having a Bruno issue. Not now, but I'm just saying fine margin, it might be a conversation that we need to have.
No, there are many conversations. What happens to our white players? Does Amorim use white players up front? So what happens to Garnacho, Ahmad, Anthony, Rashford? All of them have to fight for the central attacking two behind the striker in Amorim system. How does that work out, right? So there are so many interesting questions. I think it's good that most of our players are coming back to fitness right now, it seems. And Ruud is leading on a high, on a good note, in a positive feeling. So yeah, nothing but excitement to come. Amorim looks like somebody that's flexible, right? Because I think with a player like Casemiro, there's a fine balance. He has seen it all, he has done it all. He doesn't need you to be plotting to him exactly the coordinates of where he needs to stand on the pitch and all the extra tactical instructions. Someone like Casemiro, you just need to manage him, give him respect, respect him, and I think you will see some of the good things that we're seeing from him or from the team today. But yeah, very interesting Premier League season ahead of us. I think we're positioned honestly to make the most of the season, despite the fact that, because I was looking at it that, wow, you mean Arsenal, a mighty Arsenal, they've only won one more game than us, than the terrible, shitty United. The difference between us is one win. Wow. I thought we were in far worse straits than that. And if Ten Hag was still our manager, maybe we can be arguing, should we have hope, should we not have hope? But right now, as it is the horizon, I don't see how it's anything but exciting and hopeful.
Well, we'll see. Guys, I would like to get your opinion on Rashford because
something's wrong with him. Something's wrong. Something's not right. Today he was on our side of the pitch and he had to take on. We're all asking him to take on the fullback. Take him on, and he wasn't doing it. Something wrong with him. The other day, you saw him training alone. He was training alone the other day in the training ground. There was a video of him doing stuff, and looks like he's recovering from some injury. If you want the honest truth, it looks like he's recovering from some injury or whatever. But why play him then? If he's injured, why play him? No, I've invited him, but I don't know where he is. I don't know.
Because as a left back, I play as a left back, and Rashford is one of those wingers that you don't mind facing, because even though he have the attribute of a winger, he has everything. He has blistering pace and everything. He just have one of the worst decision making. He's so predictable. he's just one of those wingers as a left back you want to face, no problem. But on the other side, Ahmad is one of those that the way he put you off balance, he put the defenders off balance without even touching the ball. He's have such a good situational awareness, and I don't understand why he couldn't get a single game under Eric Ten Hag. But I guess that's old story now. So hopefully, this young man is able to blossom into what we really think his potential is. When it comes to Ruben Amorim and his coming, I still have my doubts. Because City is one of the best teams that keep the ball in the league, but they just lost 4 in a row. That proves to you that it doesn't matter if you're good at keeping the ball in this league. If they hit you on the counter, it's still deadly. So if Ruben Amorim come in, is he going to play the majority of the time with the wingers up or the wingers defending? And it's something I'll be looking for, because this team, as much as it's well structured, we're still not good at keeping the ball very well. So,
on the subject of Rashford, so far Xerxes obviously needs some time. Højlund, I think Højlund has some good things about him. He's neat in certain aspects, his flicks, and then he goes. And today he made some decent runs, but also not quite firing. He's becoming a little bit more come short, fight, play off of goal. Hopefully, Amorim's system will allow him to be more, or allow him to show us if he is more of an out-and-out striker rather than being utilised a little bit like Lukaku and Drogba. First touch, ball at feet, not great. So I'm thinking Marcus Rashford, to me, today, everything he did was just a little bit slow. Every single cross was telegraphed and didn't even make it into the box, and the ones that did were pretty terrible. He felt to me as if he was absent-minded. He wasn't really there today. He was just playing again on muscle memory. It wasn't there. Maybe Marcus Rashford through the middle might be a shout, if this is what we've got at the moment with Højlund. And is he still that winger, inverted winger? He's played there a lot. I don't know. But Marcus Rashford's form is very concerning, because he has gone through a very extended period now of very inconsistent. I mean, everybody says it. I adore him. I wouldn't sell him. The thought of selling him hasn't really occurred to me, but that's maybe me being a little bit naive, because I like him and the boyhood guy and the local guy and the charity. I'm proud that he plays for us. But when you're occupying the number 10 shirt at Man U, this is, you have to perform for Man United. And right now, if Marcus Rashford was to be on the bench, I don't think many of us here, if any, are going to kick up too much of a fuss. And that is a big concern, because he's one of the most experienced players now. He's 27 years old, I think. He's his absolute prime now, 27, 28, 29, 30. These are peak years. So this is a problem. This is something that we have to address. Is he going to go through the middle, because we've got 2 strikers that are not really doing it?
mm-hmm.
Is he a guy that we need to consider getting some money for? Sheikh Arian put a name forward that I like quite a bit, Kvaratskhelia for Napoli. It's like another Amad Diallo on the opposite side, that guy. But it's definitely something we should talk about. I mean, how do you guys feel that Højlund is doing at the moment? What do you like?
Yeah, I
What do
mean,
you not like? And do
just
you
quick
think
on
Rashford is a guy that you would put through the mid? I don't know.
quick on Rashford, right? I don't mind putting him through the middle. I think he has the pace and experience to play as a striker if necessary. I
He's
don't really
terrible
share
at
the
holding up the
concern
ball, man. He
really
doesn't
about
like it
Rashford.
there. He doesn't want to play
Um,
there.
no, I get that. I don't really share the concern about Rashford for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think Rashford has never gotten past the quote unquote potential stage of his career. I forgive him for never having gotten the chance or the stability at United, thanks to the Glazer ownership that we all hate, to truly develop basically as a player the way other young players in other clubs will have gotten the chance to
One
develop
second,
and
Sean.
progress
One
their
second,
game.
Sean. One
I'm
second.
saying,
One second. Big up Jamie Wayne, but I give a fuck about feeding the kids, mate, because the government was not fucking feeding them. So Rashford had to feed them, mate.
Yeah, I have to
Rashford had to
second that.
sort that out. So we care. But I know what you mean about football. Yeah, at the end of the day, as a footballer, you judged on the performance on the pitch. And his performance on the pitch are not that great at the moment.
I think him doing the feeding thing for the kids actually tells you something about the government of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, the feeding safe stuff doesn't bother me either. But yeah, that's the number one reason. The second reason that I'm not really worried about Rashford is that he doesn't pick himself as a player. So what I'm expecting from Amorim and what I'm hoping from him is that whenever I see Rashford in the starting 11, it's because Amorim, our new manager, has judged him worthy of meriting a starting position. And I do think that there is quality in Rashford as a footballer. I do think that's like on his day, right? He still is one
It's
of the best
unbelievable.
footballers in the Premier League. The challenge basically of both Rashford and the manager is to make sure that he has more good days than bad. And whether that's largely on Rashford as a person to motivate himself, or whether that's going to be down to the manager who can create an environment basically for Rashford to thrive. Because I don't personally, because of who Rashford is, I don't need Rashford to be our 10 over 10, Salah type player. Basically, if Rashford can give me solid sevens, basically whenever I see him, I don't mind. I don't mind having him around because right now we're not competing for anything major. So for the phase that we're in, I think all that we need Amorim to do is to keep Rashford honest. Keep Rashford honest. Don't treat him with kid gloves. Don't pretend like he's something that he's not because he hasn't achieved anything. He's just a local lad who many of the fans love. So treat him like that, and he will either rise up to the occasion or he will be gone by next summer. So yeah, I'm not worried about it either way. Same thing goes for Hoyland, Bumaye. Same thing goes for Hoyland. Just as with Ugarte, right now, I don't think we should be making any like the jury should be out on every single player basically in this squad, especially the newer and the younger ones. Hoyland still has a lot more football to play, a lot more to develop. He hasn't been stable basically at United because Ten Hag, according to many of the people on this panel and in the comments who don't like Ten Hag did not have a sustainable style of play. Ten Hag isolated the strikers. Nobody was passing to the strikers basically under Ten Hag. So, Hoyland hasn't even gotten the chance to. And he still scored, 10, 13 goals in his first season. So, yeah, none of these guys, Hoyland, Xerxes, Ahmad, Garnacho, even Rashford, Bruno, Ugarte, Casemiro, all of them, they all get to show the best of themselves to Amorim. And we'll see how it goes from there.
When it comes to those two players, Rasmus and Rashford, for example, let's take Rasmus, right? Personally, I don't have patience for players who don't have fundamentals. Fundamentals, I mean, you can control the ball, hold up the ball, fend up the defenders. Those are basic of football. If you don't have that, Arsene Wenger said it best. At 14, if you don't have the fundamental of football figured out, there's no hope for you. So I'm not into waiting to be patient for him to develop. If you're chasing your first touch at that age, when are you gonna acquire that first touch? So for me, I don't know. Whatever they want to do with him, I'm not even interested. Now, because you see Xerxes coming today in a short amount of time, he drop in that middle and start linking the play, start knitting things up. Those are basic of football. So as a striker, there are basics of the position and there are basic of you as a player. Nobody should be able to teach you how to control a ball or how to protect, how to put your body between the player and the ball and protect it. Those are things he should be able to do. Now, when it comes to Rashford, I think he have a psychological problem. He need a psychiatrist. I still remember when Rashford broke through, right? That Rashford that I remember is somebody that was very selfless. One of those situations, for example, there was a game that we played that there was a corner that got played, and Rashford could have went for the header himself, but he cushioned that ball down for Paul Pogba, and Pogba scored on that goal. That's the Rashford that was unpredictable, the one that played football, that played to the team. But it looked like over the years we have made him to be this kind of hero. We have put him on a pedestal on which is hard for him now to get off for, because the line to cross from being a hero to a villain is pretty thin. It looked like he can deal with that situation now, that every time, every mistake he made is being magnified. What he need is a coach to come in and talk to him, explain to him that, hey, he haven't lost his skills, that he just need to go back to the fundamental. When things are not going well for you in football, just go back to the fundamental. Don't ignore your runners. We're not asking you to win a game all on yourself. You have 11 teammates on the pitch. Keep it simple and keep it moving. So he need to psychologically come back, humble himself, and play football the way it's supposed to be played. Respect the game, and the game will respect you, right?
Could be. So you're saying that they built him up so much and made him the star boy of the club, and now he's
part of the media, part of the
needs to
propaganda.
calm down.
Now
Yeah,
he can
It's not just the media; it's us too now. I mean,
Can
we
now
said
happen.
he
we
can deal with
like
that.
heroes and villains.
Can
Yeah.
happen.
We
Yo,
made Rashi a hero too quickly, right? And that's part of the decline of the team. That Rashford should have been coming up under more established players, as Rooney and Ronaldo got to in their time. But Rashford came into the team and had to be the one carrying the team on his back, basically, and he has never been able to live up to that expectation. And he has kind of like maybe also even crumbled under the pressure, basically, of what was expected of a so-called United number
to be
10.
fair, the club is being
Um,
shit. No player
yeah,
performed well
yeah,
for 12 years, really.
that is true. Yeah, no, that
Nobody's
is true.
really like stood out.
In
You
the
see a
And
middle
even
of
Bruno
chaos,
today, I
right?
thought Bruno played. I thought he did all right. He scored the goal, which we needed, the first goal. But I didn't think he had an amazing game. But a lot of people think, oh, he had an amazing game. I don't think he did.
No, but we don't need much more from Bruno now, right? We need Bruno to work hard, to not moan so much, and to deliver the thing that he says he does that justifies his position on the team, and that justifies him not playing well or passing well or keeping the ball. Score goals, Bruno, right? And nobody will say much about you.
Can
There
you
is
guys see a team in which I feel sometimes Hoyland maybe is being ruined a little bit because we've said that word graveyard shift a lot. It's almost like he feels get in front of the defender, kick, punch, fight, flick on, go. It's not a bad attribute to have. It's good. I do feel last season he made some goals for himself. One at Newcastle sticks out for me, but we're not able to see him ply his trade as an out and out striker to judge him. Are you getting where we need you to get? Are you ahead of that defender when the ball's coming in? So there's a lot of work to do. I'm just talking about Rashford in the context of what's currently happening. Is there room for Rashford to play his style of football through the middle if he's going to continue to suffer out on the left like this? And is there a possibility? One thing Xerxes is he's got lovely feet, lovely touches. He's a little bit not found himself in this side yet. I'm not sure where he fits into the puzzle, but I feel that if that Hoyland and Xerxes have people to play off around them, you might see a little bit of a different result. Is there a team in our minds where they play together? Is there a
Yes.
4-4-2 where they look to play together? That is an interesting thing because Xerxes naturally can drop, and then the manager has to say, Hoyland, you're now about goals. I need goals. Whatever you learned in it, I need goals now. That's your job. Find him, like they did for Van Persie. You've got to work for him. Can't just work for yourselves. And Xerxes, their close proximity, play off him because Xerxes, man, he's a lovely guy to play off. That's one thing I do
you know
like
what's
about him.
funny, Bumbaye? If I was
Yeah,
a manager, I'll
yeah.
probably not even play Rasmus in attack. I'll play him on the right or on the left because I can play him with Xerxes.
Mm.
But obviously, he have the pace in behind. If Xerxes dropping can find him on the wing. Rasmus does not have enough um ball ball control, right? He does not have enough situational, because something situational football to play at the front as a striker. Even today I was watching the Chelsea game. You look at one of their wingers, Madueke. He's very erratic, but one thing he knows is how to receive the ball under pressure. And players do this a lot. When they put their hand behind them, just to feel the defender, right? They don't lean into the defender. They put their hand behind them to feel the defender. And when they break the ball, they give that little space between them and the ball. So they feel where the defender is before they start shifting the body and the ball. But when you see Rasmus in this situation, he just lean on the defender. And when the defender move his body a little bit, he's off balance. He finds himself on the floor. It's something I would have accepted him that he can progress or work on. But unfortunately, he does not have the fundamental. He does not have a good first touch. He's chasing it all the time. That's
I
why.
mean, Loani,
You don't think you can make
I think the
something out
jury is still
of him? What does he have that you like?
Well, he's spacey. Obviously, he have a little patience. On a one-on-one, I've seen him dink the keeper a couple of times. So he definitely have that that cold-bloodedness in him. But the issue is that he need a coach to use him. Probably coming from the wing is better, I think.
No, Højlund is the striker. Højlund is the striker
man.
to me.
Højlund is the striker. We just need to make chances for him. Now we've got a manager. By the way, Unai Emery's last game against Barada away, Sporting Lisbon, he was 2-0 down at halftime. His team was out of all sorts, didn't create fuck all. Second half, they come out, they win 4-2. Apparently, he's still coming tomorrow, but they've won 11 games in a row now in the league. So he's coming tomorrow, apparently, but he can't start work yet because he hasn't got his visa. Big up to everybody.
Shout out to Bruno, 250th game today for us.
I don't think we know what Højlund is naturally or not, right? I don't think, like, I think the problem again people have with football is that, like, they're comparing Højlund to Haaland or to, you know, some exceptional striker. This is a 20-year-old person, right? The premise of Højlund is that we're supposed to reap the rewards 3 years from now or 4 years from now. The question is whether or not Manchester United fans can be patient on the journey, basically, because Højlund has all the raw materials to be a deadly striker, to my mind. Right? I see him win some of those battles that he gets into. I like the fact that he's brave enough to get into those fights. He's pacey. The calmness that Luani talked about is finishing. He's a good finisher. Right? He needs to add more of an aerial presence to his game. He needs to be better, in corner kicks or from crosses. He needs to, with experience, he will know what to do with his back to the goal. So, I mean, for someone like Højlund, I just feel like his ceiling is so high. Like, right? I think we should be feeling kind of like the way Chelsea fans feel when they look at their squad of young players, because all the young guys we have in this team, I have to tell you, they all excite me in terms of their prospects, right? And if you get a manager that is working, because if we're in a world where only Højlund is scoring our goals, then we have a problem. What needs to happen is that we need to have a team where our wingers are scoring, midfielders are arriving into the box and scoring, defenders are scoring corner kicks, and the whole team is playing well. If the team is playing well, our strikers will be scoring goals. So yeah, now Højlund is our striker to me. He's our striker for the next 2 years. You know, while other teams are looking for a striker, I think we have our person. Basically, unless we can find somebody like Welbeck, unless we can find like an OG in the league for like a good, 20 million, 25 million, somebody a more senior.
Bring back Igalo, man.
Uncle Iggy was something, right?
No, yeah.
I love the Diallo, mate.
We loved him. Nigerian nightmare, man. Nigerian nightmare. That's what we called him.
Mate. We loved him.
He was actually 50 years old now. Yeah,
Manchester United legend, mate.
No, he's
Manchester United legend, mate.
Sean, today when we were watching the game, right, the smallest players on the pitch, we say...
I was at Anfield. He came on. Not Anfield, sorry. I was at the Old Trafford. He came on in the derby. Held the ball up for the last couple of minutes for us.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
City. Yeah, nice.
And you know what? Every day he was there, he was so happy. He was like one of the fans in it playing for United.
Man, he lived his dream. Brilliant.
Today, the smallest players on the pitch today, right, was Amad Diallo. Right? How many times did Amad get dashed on the floor? Why? Because he knows how to control the ball. He knows how to keep his body between the defender and the ball. He will not get dashed off the ball without. Look at how many. It's It's something either you know how to do or you don't know how to do. It's
So
part of
some
the
players have that
you can,
that
I'm not
small
saying
center
that
of
you can get
gravity.
dash off the ball, but make it win a foul out of it. Okay.
I
Mm.
I think Højlund with a few more summers in the gym, right, with some more strength,
In the
with some
gym, have
more.
you seen this guy? He looks like
No, wait, calm down. And like, Lonnie, my point is that players like Ahmad, right? I think some players are just gifted with that,
Low
small or
center of
strong,
gravity.
low center of gravity,
No,
basically, that just makes them impossible to get off the ball. Once they hold the ball, and usually a lot of them are left-footed players too. Once they hold the ball on their left leg, even this Angel Gomez actually also, as short as he is, very hard to get the ball off him. Because he has that low center of gravity and makes it difficult. So I mean, Højlund has all these things that he needs to improve on, right? But we're talking about the team as it is, not the team as we wish it to be. This team as it is has, I think, an exciting young striker that with the right manager basically can get a lot of teams basically in trouble that we play against. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about any of these guys right now. Let's wait for Amorim to come, right? Let's see what happens with a manager that we are all on board with a team that is feeling good and is playing well. And yeah, there's a lot to be excited about, honestly. Just keep the faith, right? We don't need to make perfect the enemy of good. We don't need Højlund to be Mbappe or Højlund or Haaland right now as he is right now. And he can improve definitely, but like we don't need to raise an inquest essentially for Højlund at this stage of the game. Basically, we have bigger fish to fry.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying, John. The only observation I wanted to make about that is that I'm not criticizing him for what he have or what he doesn't have. All I'm saying is we have two strikers. We have Xerxes too, who is there. So from what I've seen so far, Highland does not deserve to have the lion's share of the start. Let Xerxes can start.
Oh
Let,
yeah, I agree with that.
let this be a fair competition between them. That's all I'm asking for.
No, but right now, based on what we've seen so far, Luani, who do you think deserves to start? Let's say it was a game next weekend. Who do
Yeah.
you think deserves to start, Højlund or Xerxes? Based on what you've seen so far this season.
Next weekend, I will start Xerxes. Based on the 10 minutes that he gave me at the end of the game today, I will start him.
I think
And then
I think
I'm not set. If I start him and at halftime, if he's not performing, I'll bring in Highland. There's
no,
nothing.
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think they should end whoever starts should end his position. I think if you let both of them play to the best of their abilities, you're going to get more from Højlund, I think, than you get from Xerxes. That doesn't mean that Xerxes doesn't have an important role to play in the squad, in our team. But I think, if both of them are playing to their fullest potential right now, I think Højlund will do more for the team, basically than Xerxes does. Even though I like Xerxes as a player and look forward to seeing him fully gel with the rest of the team.
Well, I kind of disagree. I believe Xerxes will give more to the team based on his abilities because our wingers, if you look at both of them, our wingers have goals in them. So I don't need my striker. Yeah, my striker can score goals, but if I have wingers that are very goal oriented, I rather a striker that is more of a Giroud type, Igalo type that can drop and knit between those because we can have three players up front that are goal oriented that are running away from the ball. Because it's going to imbalance the attack. It's not the way we play football. It's not like we don't touch the ball in the final third of the opposition a lot. We do touch the ball a lot. It's just nothing comes out of it. That means there's something that's off balance, and we need to change it. It might have to do with personnel. Let's switch it around and see what we get.
I agree. I agree with that as well. I think we should interchange them, and see pretty much who performs or outperforms the other. This thing of someone just deserving a start, they need to prove it on the pitch. We're no longer doing this player FC thing, where we think a player or a certain player should play regardless of whatever. If you're good enough, you'll play. If you're not good enough, you're on the bench. And it needs to be a precedence that needs to be set around the whole entire team. That's how you build a very competitive culture and a very healthy competitive competition amongst players as well. And just obviously going through the game as well, guys. I think Mazarawi, as usual, I don't even count Mazarawi anymore in terms of player ratings, because he's always gonna put a 7 or 8 out of 10. So he's never ever should be in question in terms of that. You can tell that he's just levels. Ever since he has got here, he's just a level above some of our players that we have. So that has somewhat improved us, anyways, from the back four. And you look at Casemiro, great player to have around, professional, holds people accountable on the pitch. He shouts at people when you're doing whatever you're doing. He acts like a captain. There's times and instances. Yeah, that's in instances where maybe Garnacho does something and he's not supposed to do something. You tell him and scream at him and saying, "What are you doing?" He holds everyone accountable. Yeah, shows. He also gives you that assurance that everyone must up their performances. If you're not doing well, up your performances, do something. And that kind of leadership is what we're lacking. We talk about bringing all these players through, from development, and we we need to have leaders. We need to have leaders right there and present, and ensuring that the youngsters that come through have someone that's going to hold them accountable in terms of, and also keep keep them level-headed, and not let this fame and whatever that comes with playing for Man United get to their heads. So Mazarawi, Casemiro, I'd keep Casemiro again for another year, based on that kind of the you can't buy leadership. You cannot buy that. There's no price tag for that. So as well, I think with regards to Højlund, I think he if he gets the basics right, because I feel like as a striker, he's got the body. He's got. I think he just doesn't know how to, body check people or somewhat make himself much of a presence. He needs to learn how to hold up the ball and bring other people into play, because that's how we're gonna do it. Anyways, you look at Sporting, how Sporting play. Their main striker does the exact role that will be expected for Højlund to execute. And he needs to learn that very quickly. But I think those things you can teach. But more or less, I think he also needs to be a little bit burst forward, get behind the defenders and try and be there in the final third and get at the end of the crosses and everything. I think he's not that aggressive, or somewhat he still feels like his teammates won't find him in certain positions, but he needs to improve on that. He needs to be very, very direct as well. We need a ruthless striker, and you can tell with Amorim. Amorim has always had a ruthless striker. So he needs to get on that. He needs to get on that bike very quickly. Otherwise, it's going to get tough. But overall, Zixia is a different striker. He's not your Højlund type of striker. He's not your Haaland type of striker.
Yeah,
so,
he had a really good cameo when he came on today.
Yeah,
he had a very good cameo.
He's perfect in that role.
And
I think
play well.
Perfectly. And he reminds me, like I said, he reminds me of the type of striker Martial was. He's not gonna get to the end of crosses and everything like that, but he will let other players shine around him. Your wingers, if he has good players around him, they will do well. In that essence, he brings that kind of balance. What he does not bring in goals, he will bring in terms of opening up play and opening up defenses that that are very tight. Like if teams have low blocks, he's good for that. If you want to unlock defenses that are playing with a low block sort of thing, he's perfect for that kind of instances. But today's game, I think, like I'll sum it up, it was perfect. They played the way they're supposed to play, but let's not get giddy. Like I say, let's see how we do with the next coming games, because I still don't like the position we're on at the league. We need to go up the table now. There's no more excuses. We're done.
Let me just get the super chats. Big up. Let me just go to Ecuador. Eduardo, big up Eduardo. Guys, what's your opinion on Højlund and Rashford? Think they're setting us back by starting? Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. To be fair, yeah, he was one of the poor players today. Nothing came off for either of them today. Nothing was coming off for them.
You know,
Big up Shekhar. Is it Ruben Nura? Need to practice saying this. It's your homework for next stream. Back to the drawing board for you. Yo, you didn't have to give me no super chat, man. Big up to you. Well, Ruben Amorim. There you go. Ruben Amorim. I keep calling you Unai Emery, by the way. Ruben Amorim. There you go. Sticks down.
You know,
right. Big up to the super chats, though.
Holland and Rashford had both two different problems, not to be confused with each other, right? Rashford had a problem of situational football. That's what decision making is about. But if you look at Rasmus, his problem is more fundamental. If you see Rasmus, right, and you look at Rasmus and Xerxes, if I tell you who's the fastest striker, you tell me it's Rasmus, right? Because Xerxes seems to be the more heavier set, the slower on the ball. But doesn't it look weird that he's the one who seems to have most time on the ball? The reason why he has most time on the ball is because his first touch can afford him that. That's how important your first touch in football is. It gives you more time. It slows the game down for you. He seems to have.
I'm not ready.
You know, so that's
I'm definitely not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, Lawani, listen, 100%. I agree. Listen, pick up Eduardo. I think they need coaching. I genuinely think they need coaching. I really think that. I didn't see the last time I saw our forward line being coached was when Ollie was there. Remember, Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford, they scored like 60-something goals that season. It was lockdown season, but they banged in goals and more goals in that season. So that's the last time I've seen like forwards that were coached. Like, so, you know, the thing about forwards, when they're coached, they all repeat the similar patterns. The runs they make into the channels, you know, the way they hold up the ball. It just needs coaching. Manchester United is a juggernaut. It's a place where you get swallowed up because there's too much pressure and there's not enough development and coaching for my liking there. For what it is, Brighton, how come Brighton can use data to develop their players, their young players? We can't do it. It's just maddening for me. It's absolutely maddening. I'd rather see United play total football, LVG than direct counter-attack football, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. The counter-attack thing is funny as a tactic. It's really interesting, teams that use the counter-attacking as a tactic. Zelensky's ball control is one of the standout qualities. He's comfortable on the ball, able to receive in tight spaces, make quick, intelligent decisions. Yeah, I thought today was good. When he came on, Bumbaya, you were there. You were in the stadium. What did you think about him?
Yeah, exceptionally good at that. You know, the problem with there is no problem per se. You know, I'm with the give him time and all that stuff. Xerxes caught my eye straight away when he came to United. He likes to operate in that Bobby Firmino type place. He can finish. He's got great feet. Like I said, you know where I like to play on the pitch. I'd love to have had a guy to play off of like that, like a 9.5 kind of guy. But it's difficult at the moment to gauge these things. I started like this discussion, Højlund, Xerxes not quite firing. If this is to persist, maybe we can solve the Rashford thing through the middle. But Xerxes has really good brain, really good control, very tidy feet. There's no real worries about the quality there, but it's finding a position for him in the setup. The current setup, you can't really see it. You see a good player, but can you really get the best out of what he has to offer by putting him somewhere within the team where he's going to flourish? Højlund, I like Højlund. I think there are some very good things about Højlund. If Lukaku can make a successful career, I think Højlund can as well. Lukaku's absolutely flying under Conte right now in Italy. And his first touch is not good. It never has been. Got wooden feet. But he's got a lot of other things about him that he's made himself a play. He's good. He's a difficult guy on his day. But Højlund, it's always kick and punch, and that's because the way United have been playing. So it's almost as if, right, my job is to do what Drogba did against Barcelona when everyone was 100 miles away from me. I've got to kick and punch, win the ball, bring people into play, run. All right, you can do that. That's fine. I want to start to judge Xerxes and Højlund within a system where I can say, hang on a minute, the balls are coming into the box. The opportunities are there. When you're seeing the ball, it's not kick and punch, but you're not making the right decisions. You're playing like a 9.5 instead of a killer in front of goal. The finishing from Højlund is there. We've seen it. Well, Lawani mentioned it was a beautiful, ice-cold finish, that thing. But right now, I'm not getting to see him play as an out-and-out striker because of what we've been asking him to do for the last 2 seasons. When Amorim comes in, and if he says to him, right, look, this is only a little part of your game. We're going to play in a way where I need goals. I need numbers on the board now. I'm going to make the players. I'm going to get you into the positions. It's your job to do the striker role. Xerxes, you're the same. Now, they're different players. They are different players. They do both drop into the pocket. I think out of the two, Højlund is the more out and out, in my opinion. But I would love to see the two of them together. We're talking about two 6 foot plus guys, strong, can hold people off. One is lovely to play off in tight spaces. The other is a little bit of a juggernaut, but he can finish. Now, is there a team that I'm thinking in my mind where I get to see both of these guys? Because that's a handful, man. That's going to be difficult to deal with for anybody. It just depends what Amorim's going to bring. Now, Amorim, I don't know anything about this guy, like I knew nothing about Ten Hag. But you told us, Dino, he plays with a lot of risk. Now, if he plays with a lot of risk, maybe you can, get those two into the team with that 3 centre-back thing. Like a 5-3-5-2, whatever it is you call it, or 3-4-3 type of thing. All right, I'd love to see that. All I've known at Man United for the predominant 12 years that I've been following is 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. That's all I ever see. That's all I've known. Different variants of that. I'd love to see a 3-5-2. I'd love to see like a 3-4-3. I really would. I'd love that formation. I thought England was the best I've seen with it when they played with that like 5. Because England are terrible at holding on to the ball. But if you look at not this tournament, the one before it, that's the first time England have been able to gain yards up the pitch without losing the ball. And that's because they had those overloads. So I would welcome that kind of real radical change at Man United. And part of the reasons why I was going along with Ten Hag and that. But now that it's happened, I'm like, man, I need a change. So if Amorim's going to come in,
confession.
Fucking, I'll start popping pills soon. If Amorim comes in though, and he's trying that kind of thing, and it's not working to begin, I'm not going to go nuts. I want to see it. I think
to me, give him to the.
Do you know what I mean?
For me, I said 18 months. 18 months, you're going to get shown me style of play.
Do you know what? One thing I've always said that we've got. I'm not saying we're going to find out about the players. It could be another carousel. He could end up on the scrap heap. You might see these players like, whoa, where's this happened? Bruno's form is back. Rashford's back. Højlund's playing. And it might happen. You don't know. These last 4 games, it seems like the lads are maybe a little bit different since Eric's gone. But I think if whatever happens with this new manager, I want to give it a little bit of time for him to implement it and see where we go. But what we have in this team is a lot of diversity in terms of the types of players we have. If you look in the midfield, you've got destroyers, you've got your Kobe Mainus, your Ericssons, your Brunos, your Casses, now Ugate's, Mount is not even featured in this thing yet. Lots of diversity in the play. The strikers, the forward line, Xerxes something, Højlund something else. You've got Garnacho, Ahmad, Rashford. Anthony, I don't know what's going to happen with him. And then we've got centre-backs, man. Quality, good centre-backs on the ball. Martinez on the ball is excellent. De Ligt looks good. Euro is a guy that Don't forget about that kid. He's superb on the ball from what I've seen. You could play 3 at the back. That's 3 solid guys, man. Do you know what I mean? We have got variety, but it just seems like we're stuck in the mud and it's the same old shit. Change it, man. Try something new. So Amorim has got their options, and I'm excited to see what he can do after, what I've heard, what you've said to me. Seems like an innovative guy.
Well,
and it's good that you go in losing games, bro, and then you come out firing. That says something about the manager. You can G this team up. So it's exciting.
Listen, Manchester United is a place that where coaches go to die and big players go to die.
Could be. It's like a retirement home, man, for coaches.
We're very rotten. Big up Edward. Listen, it's about the coaching. I 100% can promise you, I'll be shocked if Amorim doesn't do coaching where the strikers improve. And the service, more importantly, Edward, the service to them is a lot more, is better. Because that's what playing wing backs gives you. You get the service, and playing 2 number 10s behind them, it's going to give you service. But he might not even play the 5-3 at the back anyway. He might not do it, people. He might not do it.
Do you think Højlund, do you think our forward striker guys, whether it's Xerxes or Højlund, do you think they get service? Do you think they get service? Truthfully, do they get Haaland service? Do they get Welbeck and João Pedro service?
Yes, of course they do.
So they get service like them boys?
No, they don't get service. Nobody.
They don't, innit?
Listen, playing for Manchester United has always been a graveyard shift. What are we talking about here?
Not always.
Since Ferguson. No, in the last 10 years, it's been a graveyard shift.
It's been a graveyard. But if you look at how João Pedro and Welbeck, man, they service after service after service. Haaland is just... Haaland's getting 50 goals, but everybody else in City, all the goals that City scored, they're not scoring more. They're just compressed in one guy. Yeah, it's just service from De Bruyne. We're here every week talking about Garnacho's decision-making, Bruno's inability to find the right ball. Or on the other side, you're dealing with Rashford or you're dealing with Anthony. Do you know what I mean? And I looked at Højlund and thought, no, there is a striker there, but I never get to see that striker. That goal, Luani, you alluded to, that's a collector's item, really, bro. Mm-hmm. How often is he going through on goal for me to think, are you a finisher? Are you a killer? A ball's flashing into that box and he's not there. Balls are not coming into that box anyway.
This is it, right? This is the issue, right? Yeah. How often would that scenario repeat itself? If the situational football, most of 80% of the team we are facing in the Premier League will not respect you enough to have a high line that you can run through and go. You play team that do not respect you, like City, the Arsenal, top 6 basically will give you that high line. Majority of the team will just set up a low block. Now, as a striker, when you're playing with teams that set up a low block, you're gonna have to bring out other qualities that you don't have in order to be counted in the game. If you're saying our strikers don't get service, I agree, our strikers don't get service. But if you're in the game and you're not getting service, you know what? You can shift to the left wing or to the right wing, go find space there. And then when you get the ball in space, you can do what you do best. But if you sit down there and you wrestling defenders and you know that's not part of your best attributes, or you're not successful at it and you keep persisting, look, in game, playing a game, a competitive game, is not where you learn how to wrestle defenders. Right? You do that in training.
No, but Luani, I don't think he does that for fun now, right? The whole premise of the point of Højlund is that when we try and play out of the back, the ball is supposed to get to Højlund, stay with him, then go to one of our wingers. Basically, he's supposed to hold up the ball and then play one of the wingers, then run from there. He needs to improve his ball retention when he gets that ball, but I don't think he's just wrestling for fun because he likes it. I think that's what he's been asked to do. He's been asked to receive the ball with his back to goal, play with one of his teammates, and then open up himself for the return pass or for a counter-attack forward.
Then at that point,
hold it there. I want to hear from Jarvis. Pick up Jarvis. How are you? Welcome to the stream, Jarvis. Welcome to the stream. The best performance of the season. Ruud van Nistelrooy has had the same amount of wins as Erik ten Hag. Let that sink in. Have a little cup of tea to that.
Well, we never know if Ten Hag would have won on this game also, but that's another discussion.
No,
We
we
don't want to go
definitely
back
not
because
winning this
that's
game,
done.
mate.
Ten
It
Hag
was
is
that high.
over. It's time for
No.
Amorim. He's the next guy coming in, so it's just the way it is. But yeah, it was a good game. I liked what I saw. It was very solid. I think we played with a good high back line. I think the centre backs was really good in pushing up, so we were compact all the time. I liked the counter press we do high up the pitch. We always win the ball back, and that's mainly because of the centre backs. We get to compress the area, and we have a lot of people around the guy who has the ball on Leicester's side. So we won it again and again, and we were aggressive. I liked the job Casemiro and Ugarte did. So yeah, I think we look solid in the current shape. And we talked about. I heard you guys were mentioning 3 centre backs, and basically we played with 3 centre backs today with Diallo, De Ligt, and Martinez, because Masraoui is high up there on the left side, going inside outside.
He was right next to us. Masraoui is right next to me and Bumpaye.
Yeah,
pitch side.
Brilliant today.
He's hardly a fullback in how he plays now. I think he's in fantastic shape and is brilliant.
Touch wood, touch
if
wood,
keeps
touch the wood,
going like
Jarvis.
this-
Touch that wood, Jarvis. Touch that wood.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
injury prone, so just let's keep it real and don't jinx it. But yeah, I think it looked good. But what I want to take from today's game, I don't know if you notice, is we gain something with the double pivot. We gain stability, and we gain always 5 defending, the two defensive midfielders and the 3 centre backs. So we always have a security when we go forward. But what we lack is when it comes to crossing, because when we cross, we are a little bit short in the middle of the pitch, in front of goal. I can show you. I took some pictures from the first half. I only had the first half, so I can show you what I mean. Yeah, this is one of the first crosses. You see Bruno here is on the ball. He crosses it out to no, it's not Bruno. It's number 6. That's actually Martinez. Isn't he number 6? And plays it out. And the cross comes from Bruno. And you see here in the middle, you have Højlund, and on his outside it's Diallo. So there was only 2 in front of goal when the cross comes. This is another cross. You see Masraoui going down to the byline. Here you see Højlund, Bruno, and Ahmad is on the right. But it's about the intensity of how we run in front of the goal. We are not aggressive enough when it comes to moving in front of the goal. And you also see Ugarte here.
Listen, we don't do enough dynamic running into the box.
Yes,
Nobody
and this is what I'm talking about.
Post, nobody goes to the back post. Nobody goes directly to the center. We don't have
100%.
enough dynamic change of speed.
100%, Nuruddin, 100%. And this is what we can improve if we want to be better at this game. And also we have one player not involved in it. Where is Rashford? Where is Rashford in all of these crosses? He's not here. He should be here in front of the goal. And there you see Ahmad on the second cross. And this is the third cross. This is the goal. You see Masraoui, but here you see the guys starting a little bit further out, and they're coming in the box. By the way, this is Rashford. They're coming into the box with a lot of pace. You can see they are sprinting towards the goal. Here you have Casemiro, you have Ugarte, but Rashford is not involved in the same way. And this was the goal that Bruno scored, or there was an own goal, or whatever you want to call it. But the intensity of the runs in front of goal, that's important. And this is what we are lacking if we go with a double pivot, because both of the pivots, they hold back in a way. So we always are in control. But what we can improve is the other winger. As you saw, Rashford wasn't involved in any of these crosses. I don't know if it's just Rashford or if it's a tactic from the manager to hold one of the wingers back. But I think we should come with more power, more pace in front of goal if we want to have more goals, because I think our crossing has improved. And people who are complaining that Højlund doesn't get any service, I don't think they are right when it comes to this game. He got a lot of service, but it doesn't look deadly when it comes to scoring goals. So what we can improve
What
going
service
forward.
did he get in the box today? Did he get any service in the box today?
Yeah, as I showed you three crosses from
Yeah,
the first half.
Yeah, but it's I wouldn't really count
this
that.
is what
I
I'm
wouldn't
talking
count
about.
that
I
as
think
proper
Højlund
service.
can be more. Højlund, he runs straight forward in the
Yeah,
middle.
he could be darting. He could be
He
darting.
could be
To be
darting,
fair
he could
though, I'm not going to
going
lie to you. But
sideways. Do
the
something.
runs
Do
he
something
makes,
else.
yeah, the runs he makes for Denmark is totally different. People, you can YouTube it. Honestly, after the stream, have a look. The runs he makes for Denmark are totally different. He comes near post. He likes to always get in front of the first post and try to get a flick on the ball.
Yeah.
I just think in this United, we hardly ever used to cross the ball. And now we're doing it with Ruud. Now we're putting a little bit balls in, but at least we scored from one.
Let me just clarify, because I see a couple of guys in the chat says it's not fair against Rashford. I'm not trying to take a dig at Rashford. I'm just telling what we can improve, and I want
Rashford was
one of the second forward as Rashford is be involved in these crosses in front of goal. I think it will be much more effective for us scoring goals. We coming in with two guys, 3 at max, and maybe we should see, if you see teams like Liverpool, for example, they sometimes come with full force power, 4 guys, 5 guys, and this is what we would like to see. So I'm not taking a dig at Rashford. I'm just saying that's a part of the game where we can improve when it comes to crosses. And I think Højlund also can improve his movement in front of goal to be more involved. So yeah, that's just my only take.
I 100%
That's my only take from the game, what I think we can improve. So, but I have to see the game another time. But I like.
What did you think of Ahmad's performance today?
Ahmad is brilliant. Ahmad is brilliant. We know he's a baller. He knows he's good in his close control. He's good in balance. He knows how to lure in the defender and just shift gear and just sprint toward from him. So I love his way of playing, and he should be a regular starter for this United team. But we also saw when Garnacho came on, he has something as a impact sub. He brings something else. Because that second half was dreadful. You know, they might as well just blew the whistle 10 minutes before it ended, because there was nothing. It was just breaks and injuries and stops up in play, and nothing happened. So, you know, but Garnacho had a brilliant goal, and I like what I saw from Garnacho, and I think it was a little bit of a revenge from his side, you know, getting that goal, because he's been under a lot of criticism lately, and you know, it's good to.
We should get back to have a go at him next time, to do a little, to say to him, work on the first touch, because he scored an absolute banger today.
Yeah.
Celebrate, and I'm just like, oh my God.
And the other fast, he took out Garnacho's hand. I don't know if you saw. So, you know, he's under a lot of pressure from both faces.
So my question for you, Jarvis and Nuruddin, my question for both of you, you talk about the dynamic running, right? When you're referring to that, are you talking about the players that are already in the box that are static, or are you talking about third man run from our midfielders?
No, I'm talking about in the way we run to the box. So certain teams have set plays. So if the ball goes out wide, so for example, you knew David Beckham, yeah? David Beckham, soon as he gets the ball, they used to make certain runs, right? David Beckham would always whip the ball in first time. Ruud van Nistelrooy, he would always go attack the near post. Always, or the center of goal. Sometimes it can be outside center or the front post. So certain players will go to the front post to distract certain defenders, and then maybe the striker will be in central. So you always have. Now I see United like Sunday League, they just cross the ball. No, those things you have to work on the training ground, so then you know who's got the ball out wide and who's going to cross the ball in and where runs to make. The dynamic runs, sometimes you crisscross each other. You know, you're making runs. Somebody takes the 2 center halves apart, go to the near post. One of the center halves always goes to the lower post. 2 of them maybe go to the back post. So, or to go to the center. So that's where the dynamic I'm talking about, that you already have that worked out. Depending who's crossing the ball, you've already worked out the type of runs in training that you're going to make. That's the big thing for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with you, Nuruddin. I think you're spot on.
Big up Vance. Vance is getting a lot of heat out here, a lot of racism on his page as well. But big up for the coaching. Kid scored a banger today. Big up Vaz. Big up Vaz.
Big up.
Kid scored a banger, but he didn't want to celebrate. I'm just like, oh my God. We've lost. The game's gone. If somebody's not celebrating because Vaz says to him, you need to work on your first touch.
Oh dear.
Bloody hell. But yeah, best performance of the season for me in terms of how Manchester United played. We scored 3 goals. We kept a clean sheet. To be fair, watching him live, first time I've watched that kid, Buonanotte. Wow, what a player he is. For Leicester, he's the one that made that chance. In the first half, he let us escape maybe 2 or 3 times he escaped from us. And he's so good at dribbling the ball with his left foot. He's going to be some player. Honestly, he's going to be a player. Buonanotte, number 40 for Leicester today. He set up the chance. The only chance they made in 94 minutes, 95 minutes, was the Wilfred and Didi chance, where Buonanotte just, and then Unana made the half save. You know what I mean? I think De Ligt was there, or Mazraoui was there, or whatever, to keep the ball out. But, yeah, it wasn't, like I said, all my nails are intact. I wasn't biting my nails. I wasn't going, oh, fucking no, not today. I was relaxed. The goals came at a good time. Bruno's goal came at a good time. The second goal came at a good time, but still, the game's always dangerous. The most dangerous scoreline in football is 2-0 because the other team gets one. Psychologically, the balance shifts psychologically. But today, Leicester didn't get any smoke. No cigar for them today. Like I was saying, no Vardy, no fucking party. No Vardy, no party. And Vardy wasn't there today. I would love to have seen him probably, the last couple of seasons, but he was injured. We met
Norrin, I heard you talked a little bit about Buonanotte, but I think that the other winger, the left winger, Fatawi, was really good. And by the way, he used to play for Ruben Amorim in Sporting before he came to Leicester. So he's a Leicester, and I checked out his stats, and they are actually incredible. If he wants, as we talked about, people who are good in progressive runs and can also do defensive work, his tackles, duels, heading abilities. So he has a lot of good stats. So I think he would be a player that we actually could buy and use as a left fullback.
You're talking about Vardy?
No. The
kid, the young player, yeah.
Matabu.
Yeah, Matabu. You know what? To be fair, I'm not gonna lie to you. He troubled the lot, but the lot is tired. I swear to God. Seeing it on the stadium, you see him. He's gone. He's fatigued, man. Diego Dalot is fatigued. And if he had anything about him, he won't go to Portugal. Other than that, he should go on holiday, maybe. He needs a holiday. He needs to go and relax on the beach somewhere.
You and Jarvis talk about in terms of the box crashing on our crosses. It's definitely something that have to be designed in training. Because when Liverpool does it, there are 2 physical freak specimen involved in Konate and Van Dijk, and it's definitely by design. Now, if you look at our team, the best headers on the ball, the best, the one that excel at attacking the ball in the air, I would think of Casemiro, and I would think of De Ligt. So, I mean, if we can come up with something by design that can help them attack the box, crash the box, the way McTominay was doing it, we can definitely get more goals. But the real question will be, like Jarvis was pointing out, playing in a double pivot, when Casemiro go crash the box, if we don't get there, he doesn't make connection with the ball, and the ball coming the other way, how are we going to defend in transition? And that's something the coach will have to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. But when we come to Amorim and we establish a dominant attack, we will we will only defend with 4. 2 center backs, 1 center back in the middle, and one of the DMs will hold. So, and he will go out with 6. So it will be exciting to see. It will almost be like the Ten Hag's 3-1-6. We will overcommit people in front of goal. So that's one of my concerns when it comes to the Premier League, because I think we look much more balanced now when we have the double pivot and 3 in the back. So we defend with 5. So with Amorim's system, we will try to attack with 6 and defend with 4.
Do you think Amorim will keep the 3-4-3?
Yeah, without a doubt, 100%. Why
Now,
wouldn't
if
he?
he does, right? If he does, that means that the most important player in this system are the fullback or the wingers, should I say? So, do you think Diallo and Mazraoui fit the profile to do the job?
Yeah, Masraoui is definitely good enough. I'm not sure about Diallo, but I don't think they could play on each side. I think just one of them can play, and we need a forward or a winger to play the other side. So because one winger goes to the byline, crosses, and the other one goes inside and underlap. So they have different roles. That's the thing with the
So
Amorim.
who's in jeopardy in terms of player profile here? We've got lots of
Diallo.
wingers. Dallo's in jeopardy. What about the wingers? You've got four. You've got Anthony, Ahmad, Rashford,
It's in the
Garnacho. Are they
garage.
in jeopardy? Or
Garage.
what?
Garage.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, but I think Rashford is in danger because he don't have any defensive skills, and playing as a wing back, I don't think he can do that. That's the biggest problem for us. But I don't see him playing as a number 10 either, because he's not a playmaker. So I don't know. The only way I can see Rashford playing in Amorim's team is as a striker because he have pace.
You think Bruno's going to slot into Amorim's system, or you feel he's in danger?
Bruno's going to be his fellow countryman. Bruno's here for life, people. He's here till he's 50. Don't worry about it.
Music to my ears.
Listen, my friend, I know we love our Bruno, right?
don't.
The GA was GAing today, but unfortunately,
Luwani, I'm not bothered.
I hate to break it down to you. Eventually we're going to have to answer that question.
But I'm not bothered if he starts scoring and he starts assisting and playing well and listening to the coach and playing well. I'm not asked. Same with the rest of it. I'm not asked. If the team's doing better and they're contributing in a healthy way, and that they don't have to play every game, then they can be subbed. All these things, I'm happy about it. But apparently, we're after Nkuku at Chelsea. I'm like, listen, that guy's injury prone, man. Why would I want an injury prone guy? Apparently, we're inquiring about him tonight. Some news breaking tonight. Big up Khalees from Medinasi. I think he put it in there before, but I didn't see it. But yeah, I'm like, boy, oh boy, man.
Bruno is like Las Vegas personified. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Are you watching the game? He's always involved in either scoring a goal and an assist. But then I promise you, I have no personal agenda against him, right? I'm watching the game and we lose the ball, and I'm saying, who the hell is that? And it's Bruno. I'm like, oh my God, Bruno again. How do we deal with that? I don't know. But with top opposition, when it comes to fine margin, it's a question we're going to have to answer. So
the thing with Bruno, like that, I mean, why I'm less, I guess, like on the Bruno train than other people is I think with Bruno we can hide his deficiencies. Like if the whole team is playing well, there was I think like a 30-second spell in this game today that kind of just captured just the problem with Bruno. He gave away the ball in one moment. Ugarte won the ball back, gave it to Bruno. Then he tried another long pass. This time the long pass went over the defender's head and got to Garnacho and put us in a dangerous situation. So I think and I was saying this the other show. I think no matter what happens, like when the water settles, Bruno is going to come out as rightly so one of the better players in the squad. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Amorim fits him in. But for me, there's no doubt that he plays basically in the team. And even if he's giving the ball away, all that kind of stuff, if everybody else in the team is doing what they're supposed to do, then I think we can just focus on the positives that Bruno brings to the game and less on things that he's bad at.
Sean, this is why I put quality opposition in quotation, because when he gives ball away against quality opposition, Ugarte might not have a chance to get it back. The next time we're picking up the ball, we could be in our nets.
Yeah, but I mean, who is this player in the world that doesn't give away the ball from time to time? There's no one, right? Even the best player. So like, there's no way we can go into a game, even against quality opposition, expecting that Bruno will not give away the ball at all. It should be baked in. right? That's what I'm getting at. That like, if they cannot, it cannot be that like unless Bruno scores an own goal, or unless it's like a clear line of sight mistake where his mistake directly led to the goal. I think more often than not, the problems that we had in this team were larger and bigger than Bruno alone. So I wouldn't put our success or victory in the kind of game you're describing down to an individual Bruno mistake. I think if the whole team is playing well, right, Bruno's mistakes can be accommodated, and if not, then they are highlighted. But I think Bruno is good enough to still be an important player in this team, and I wouldn't be so quick to get rid of him.
Yeah,
Big up to
no,
you,
but
Shaqarian. Big up Shaqarian. One second left. So Andre Onana for me is not for me. Even though he's the stats and all that say something. It's still not for me. Go ahead, Lesso. I keep it 100%, me. I keep it
oh
100%.
man. Oh man. No, but in terms of, I think with the Bruno thing, I think you do you long term, if we're being honest with ourselves, we may need someone. We may need a different type of 10, a number 10. One that's good at ball retention. We can't be losing the way he sometimes can't simplify his game. I think it's to his detriment to some level. I mean, you look at Sporting. After Bruno left, they became a more better side. In terms of if you look at them as a team, they became a better team when Bruno
Yeah,
left.
they won the
And funny
league.
enough,
He fucking left
yeah,
and they won the league.
yeah, this is why I say that, long term we may need to phase him out. I'm not saying get rid of him immediately, but we may need to phase him out. You look at your different number 10s. You look at Olmo at Barcelona. You look at Odegaard at Arsenal. These guys don't just waste position. In position, they make sure that they in terms of applying their passes, they don't just kick the ball wherever they feel like kicking the ball. They make sure that they make the right decisions and they're very precise with it. We need to, obviously in the system of Amorim, long term, I think he will himself face Bruno anyways out. If you look at his number 10 at Sporting, anyways,
Danilo, we're
it's nothing.
targeting Danilo. I'm sorry. I don't believe that.
So you look at that and you can see that that's the direction he's gonna go eventually. Anyways, so yeah, Bruno, I think he will be phased out as a result. Obviously, because we are gonna play a different way. So he's not. I would say he's not right now. We can hide these deficiencies. We can try and hide these deficiencies, but overall, long term, guys, we need to look at replacing him. We need to bring in someone who can more or less, give us that kind of stability. We can't be doing this baskification thing that we're doing with him, where he just kicks the ball and then someone else has to clean up after the mess. We can't be doing that, and expecting that in every game. So, yeah, that's how I look at it, and basically that's what this manager, when that comes in, is going to implement his style and implement.
But to be fair to the creative player, the
if-
number 10 in
oh,
every
yeah.
team loses the ball a lot of the time. Less so.
Yeah, 100%.
If you look at
Yeah,
Kevin
no,
De
they
Bruyne
do.
and
Different
the
way,
other
Jarvis.
Odegaard, they lose the ball a lot of the time, and that's
Yeah, but in
how
a
it is
different
when
way,
it comes to
Jarvis.
being creative.
Yeah,
The different ways that
yeah,
those teams win, and United
The
hasn't
different
been winning.
ways players move up is that when the team camp the team in and they try to needle, that put that thread through the needle. That's what they're trying to do. There's a different way to lose the ball.
Correct.
But Bruno gives ball 5-yard passes. 5 yards in his own half. What the F are we playing around here? That's what we're talking about. Other than just him hoofing the ball all the time. So it
Listen,
is
my
what it
brothers,
is.
today we might not be talking a lot because yes, we won 3-0 and it was like a controlled demolition. So all those can go under the radar.
Well, let me
Well,
ask you
well-
that question, Luane.
Mhm.
Was it the best performance of the season for you?
Yes, it is. The reason for that's why I use the word refreshing. We haven't seen that in a long time. A win in which at any point of the game, I didn't feel like we were going to lose the game. Even when they played that pass through us, Ndidi was through on goal and he missed the one-on-one. I felt like even if he scored, we still will go out to win the game because of the way we were controlling it. So it was refreshing. Best performance for me.
Yeah, big up to the Zerbi, man. Bro, he denied me the dream. Did you hear about these news people before the Marseille opening game of the season? Roberto used to project him to display a blade out contract offer from Manchester United in front of his squad. He told his players, this is where I could have been, but I put my passion before money. I came to Marseille for passion. My manager, my coach, other than bullshit Manchester United, Jim the Rat, and his dodgy Dave and the quarter sexuals, he chose the passion.
I'll hold my hands up right now.
My coach
Right?
is Amorim. We have a coach, right? I think Zerbi can. Good luck to him in France. I don't buy this story for a single second. I like how selectively, credible as many fans are. When his news
He's
reports,
the quality coach, mate. I'm sorry, Sean. He's the quality coach, mate. You can't deny De Zerbi's coaching, mate.
I'm sure he's great.
I've never seen in my life a team on the clock, De Zerbi go to Liverpool and absolutely ball out from the back.
That's great.
Screw Liverpool. Pop them about that fucking football pitch, mate. I've never seen that done by the only managers to do it in my lifetime was LVG, mate.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's coaching, pal. And who the fuck are those Brighton players? Who the fuck are those Brighton players? A coach, mate. That's the difference. And your guy, remember your boy Ten Hag, failed.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
And the interim manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy, has had same amount of wins as your boys had when you should care about the results so much.
I understand the attitude that you have because you watch football with agendas. Because I don't watch anything with agendas.
Here we go.
Don't put your mouth with my boy De Zerbi. Leave out De Zerbi.
I support Amorim, who's our new manager. I don't have an agenda. So I'm not sitting all the way in France and trying to settle old scores from 2 years ago. I wish United fans can focus on the team that we have instead of looking at the pot of gold and the grass that is always greener somewhere else.
It's the way it's been. The way it's been. And I'm actually looking back. I'm glad he didn't come to Manchester United. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he chose because now Marseille. I like watching Marseille. They actually play good football. We lose or draw, they play good fucking football. There's not one game I've watched of their game other than the other time when they had them 10-man sent off against. I think they had a man sent off against Paris Saint-Germain, and Paris put them to the sword. Other than that, every other game when I watch them, I always watch an entertaining game, my friend. Jim Ratcliffe presents a framed shirt. Get the F out of here with that shit, man. See what I mean, drivers? It shows you where we're at. We're presenting players with shirts. Yeah,
I have a
players with shirts.
I have a concern I would like to share with my brothers on the panel, right? It's about Amorim, right? It looked like the wingers are his team. Now, this is going to be the Premier League opposition. If those wingers go up and you're playing, watch out for the space between those wingers and the three center back, because Premier League opposition will exploit those space. I'm trying to think of a scenario where we have an early kickoff playing Forest and Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi are exploiting those space. It's not going to be a fun day, So I'm really concerned. That's
you have center backs in the wide areas defending. That's the thing, and we have 5 guys defending. So if you go with the 3 and the double pivot, the center backs, the wide center backs will defend the wide areas. Martinez will be the left fullback when needed. That's the game plan, I believe.
Okay,
but it's only when the opposition establish an attack, not the transition or anything, but when they establish an attack, the fullbacks or wingers will drop down so the 3 center backs can stay compact. But then that's when we defend, but not on transition.
No, but
the transition is the 3 center backs and the double pivot.
But that is actually the lure. The lure is that we're playing, even in the Premier League, when you're playing lower opposition, they still have pace up front. Now, we all know what happened when Martinez is asked to defend the wide areas. Recently, it's not something he has been pretty successful at. So That's my. I'm just concerned.
No, we would have to defend as a team, right? Well, yeah, that's where I'm thinking about it. Like the manager would have to earn his pay. He's coming to the toughest league, basically in the world. What we're paying him for is to one understand that Nottingham Forest are dangerous on the flanks. So if he has to adjust something tactically, something small in the team to make sure we don't get exposed down the flanks, then he needs to do that. We cannot accept that because he plays 3-4-3. That means anytime we come up against pacey wingers, we're going to lose. No, we can't take that for granted. So yeah, the team will have to defend as a team. They would have to cover up for each other. What we saw in the Sporting versus Man City game is that the Sporting players run. They all run. The strikers run, the wingers run, the midfielders run, defenders, everybody runs, and everybody covers for each other. So if you have a team that is pulling together, I think, as Jarvis mentioned, the defenders will cover the white spaces. The midfielders are also there to cover the white spaces. The wingers, we need to track back. The midfielders need to track back. Everybody just needs to defend together as a team, right? And we don't need to get into the weeds of like what space is open and all of that. But if we have an effective manager who knows how to read the game and make the right calls in and before the game, I think we'll be fine.
Right, last word from you, drivers.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I don't know if all of you saw the tactical breakdown we did on Amorim the other day. I can do a quick recap for you guys to understand when it comes to this. When it comes to the tactical board, as I mentioned, we want to go with the
Most teams, yeah, the W, the WM.
The M in the defense, the 3 and the 2, and that's why it's so good with the 3-5-2 formation, because we only move up the wingers, and then suddenly we have a W shape up front, and the best thing is we have the square midfield here. So this formation is very good. I don't know if you guys see it, but when Amorim really attacks and when because the point is moving the opposition up. We want to lure them in. As I said, it's a hybrid between Klopp and De Zerbi. So we want to lure them up, move them up here. And when we move them up, by playing the ball in between us, we trap them. And when we trap them, then we go. Because we have 4 in the middle. And we have, because one of the 10s move up, and one of the DMs move up, and one of the center backs move up. Let's just say we play something like this. So it's a 2-2-4-2 formation. And the point is getting the ball to these 4 guys. These 4 guys, and their main objective when they receive the ball is to progress the ball, move it, run with the ball into the box or whatever, and then we come with full force. We come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. And all the chances, he doesn't create
Jarvis, a question.
But when we create chances, they create chances for Jokenes inside the box. So when we create chances, it's big chances, or when Sporting create chances. So this is the game plan.
Jarvis,
a question.
You might not even play that system, Jarvis.
Jarvis, you see that space? That's the space I was alluding to. Because if they lost the ball in transition, you see that space right there? Those 2 on the flank, is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Yes. But this is the game plan of Amorim. In if you want to just see it in
my concern
wide terms.
In real life, it looks more compact.
Yes, but you get the gist what I'm talking. So this is the game plan: the 2-2-4-2. Bring the ball quickly up to the 4. They will move it, transist it, run it into the box, and we come with full force 6 guys. So this is what we try to do.
My concern is that like the Sporting team is very good at the transition. I don't know how good they are like in on the press, basically in pressing, which is like one of the weaknesses basically of this of Ten Hag's team and of United basically as a whole. Like how do we press against opposition? Because in Portugal, yeah, basically aside from Porto and Benfica, more often than not, Sporting is in control of possession. So most games that they are playing in Portugal, they dominate the game without having to try too hard. So I wonder if he has a game model for pressing, for out of possession, on the front foot pressing. I think the way his Sporting team, and he talked about it, right? He said we shouldn't really look at the game against City as a benchmark because that game they had to be too defensive. And it looks to me like the strength of this Sporting team is in the counter-attack. And I don't think United fans want to play counter-attack football anymore. So it's interesting to see how Amorim, translates his 3-5-2 into a solid pressing, ball retention team.
Well, the press play is here, Sean. It's about they call it the pentagon because you have 5. The pentagon is here, and the pentagon it rotates from one side to the other side. They rotate, so we always press with 5. And if the opposition gets the ball out of on the outside of the pentagon, we have the fullbacks pushing up on each side, so they have time because. You want to stop transition and delay the opposition. You don't want to win the ball. You want to delay them so you can get your players back into shape and position.
And I'm assuming the late Euro and Martinez are higher up.
Of course, they higher up. Yeah, that's all of the plan. And sometimes when needed, they will push up. But basically, it's a pentagon, rotating pentagon. That's how they press. So it's the 2 10s, the 2 6s, and the number 9 who's pressing.
I could definitely see Højlund, Bruno, and Ahmad in the front 3 of the pentagon, definitely, and Casemiro and Ugarte behind them. So that pentagon, that would be my 5.
It will be interesting to see how they will solve it.
This is going to be fun when a goalkeeper put the ball long into those vacant space.
Well, I mean, again, right, Lonnie, that's what Amorim is getting paid millions of dollars to solve. There cannot be any excuse essentially for this manager other than him taking the time that he needs to gel with the players. But he's going to have to figure it out. He's going to have to adapt quickly also.
Right, guys.
To the league.
Big up to everybody. We could talk it to death. I have to call it a day.
Can I give a message to Xerxes? My message to Xerxes. My brother, you are in a team where it's a gameplay called Who Wanna Be a Celebrity. Okay? Crash the box a la McTominay, get your goals, and buy yourself some time. That I'm a 9.5 thing is not gonna work here.
There we go. Big up. That's the word. Big up. Love and light, people. Big up. Look after yourselves. Please like the video, those of you watch this later. To me, the best performance, of the season.
Yes.
Big up to Ruud van Nistelrooy for taking us where he took us. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he steadied the ship. And we scored so many goals. We can only concede 3. I think we scored 11 goals. So he bought the goals back at least. So big up to him. And hold tight, Steve Cooper. You tried to come and have a go at the Manchester United atmosphere, and today your boys got turned over, mate. If I'm not mistaken, it's 8-2 in aggregate, last 2 games. You stop worrying about the fucking Manchester United crowd at Old Trafford, and you need to start focusing on your fucking team, man. Before you get the P45, pal. All right, Steve Cooper. All right, Smithy. All right. Hey, from Liverpool, mate. My name's Steve Cooper. I chat a lot of shit. I fucking chat a lot of shit. Hold tight. Good night. Hey, by the way, hold tight to all the people in the world fighting imperialism, colonization. Hold tight, everybody standing up against the fucking Zionist bastards. Hold tight to the Palestinians, the Lebanese. Hold tight to everybody, to the Congolese, to Sudanese. The struggle is all one to the Haitians. Anywhere in the world where people are fucking oppressed. Hold tight. We're always with the people. Liberation. It's no fucking, we don't want no peace. We need liberation, justice, then the peace comes. Yeah? So fuck you fucking Zionist media, you fucking bastards. And big up to the people of Amsterdam. Big up to them for dealing with those racist, fascist fucking hooligans, mate. Big up to them. Love, like, peace.
Big up.
Yeah?
We also have a problem.
At Luani, it's Moani, 1970, 79. Check him out there. Jarvis Cocker, Foley 77, Man UFC Realist TV. Keep an eye on the news channel. Tactical channel coming very soon. So make sure you check him out. Foley 77, Man UFC Realist TV. Tomorrow night, 2-hour show. He'll be on there. Big up Lesso Football. Black Rain on Twitter. Big up to Sean. He's gone now, but Sean and his at Sean Thomas. And then the podcast is How We See Things, the geopolitical podcast. Bumbaye, he's the man with no face. You'll never see him anywhere on socials. You'll never see him anywhere on here. He's only ever typed. You might get an invite from Jarvis and Man UFC Realist TV, but you won't see him anywhere else. Love and light, people.
No, big up and as well, guys. Before we leave, we're actually fighting a good cause right now. You know, in South Africa, we have a problem with the youth unemployment rate right now. Right, it's the worst time to actually be a youth in the country. You know, this is the worst. I'd say the unemployment percentage in the entire history of this country. So right now, what we're doing, I work with an NGO called the South African BRICS Youth Association, right? I work for them actually, and what we're trying to do, we're trying to be inclusive of youth, being able to, you know, get into the parliament space and be able to make decisions. And it's not just us. I also work with the C20, which holds the the W20, like I would say the countries in that space that hold them accountable in terms of being inclusive of youth, you know, the young people having a voice at that level of governance. And yeah, I actually worked on last year. I was actually appointed as one of the people who actually helped amend one of the policies that would actually uplift the youth in the parliament space and being more inclusive, even having the youth having their own, I would say per se, their own section of the parliament, you know, so that they can have a voice. Because now you want to run countries. Yes, you're older, you want to run countries, you want to do that, but you forget that the people who are going to come after you guys have to deal with your mess, you know, in essence. And so we're trying to mitigate that gap between that and with the older people, you know, in the political space. But we actually gonna host the C20 and the W20 as well, event in South Africa next year. Yeah,
Big up Blesso.
So-
Big up Blesso. Doing it for the youth. Doing it for the love for the youth, mate. Yeah, to me, too many of these old politicians don't have a clue. I think we need more young people in there, 100%. Definitely, I agree with you. But love and light, man. Anybody who's oppressed economically, whether you're oppressed, you know, whether you're oppressed financially, militarily, solidarity with you all, and especially the South Africa. The country is still oppressed by the small 10%, man, that still own the fucking land and all the means of production. So that thing needs to be realized. The second part of the ANC charter needs to be realized. Love and light, people. Take care of yourselves. Look it up what I'm talking about. Peace, love, light. Fuck the Zionism is a death fucking cult. Fuck them all. Fuck the imperialists and the colonizers. Freedom, liberation to all. And make sure, people, you check out the video. I need to get it, but I'll do it for tomorrow when I do a video. But check out, we're raising money. We did a track. You hear it's called End the Occupation Now. It's been on Twitter. Those of you who follow us on Twitter, you can check it out. You can find it. But I'll be live tomorrow and I'll share it again. But love and light, people. Look after yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
Good night. Remember, Jarvis Corner tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 2-hour show. Take out your questions in.